Welcome back to Sister Circle Live, formerly of VH1's Black Ink crew. Our next guest is known for her sharp skills and even sharper tongue.
Woo! Please welcome Dutchess Lattimore, a.k.a. the Duchess of Ink.
Yes!
Hi, Dutchess.
Really? You gonna give us the shy girl?
Right, you gonna give us the shy girl? Hi, beautiful. So glad to have you here.
Hi, Pumpkin.
This is
How
really
are
a
you?
man.
How are you?
So amazing.
Have
Thank
a
y'all
seat there.
so much.
You look gorgeous.
Thank you. I was nervous about dressing and preparing for this whole experience.
Really?
Really?
Why?
Yeah, because people's expectation, especially coming from reality TV, is something that it's not who I am.
Yeah.
So to be a part of things that actually are in line and in tune with my journey, it's like, okay, so that's when I get nervous because it's like, dang, this is like where I'm supposed to be, and now I'm actually there.
Well, this is your time to show the world exactly who you are without being skewed. How about that?
Gotta love it.
Now, with that being said, I did watch a little bit of,
Yeah,
You
I did
sure?
too. Like,
I
you were my favorite, and my husband's too. He like you.
he like her.
I ain't gonna lie, I love you and your husband. I was trolling your page the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, this is just, it's so inspiring.
Black love, right?
It's so inspiring.
Oh,
so
thank you.
inspiring.
Wow.
Yes,
Girl.
yes.
Well, I want to get back to the show.
Okay,
just
go
a
ahead.
minute.
I'm sorry.
We do have to do an interview here.
We do.
All right. But on the show, you are very upfront with everything. You tell it like it is. Where did you get that from, and why do you think it's important for women to speak their mind?
Growing up, I come from a two-parent home, which is a very big blessing in this day and age.
Sure
Yes, it is.
But my dad and my mom are so amazing and evenly yoked as like a marriage should be. And growing up, my mom, she cooks every day. She takes care of the house. She still works, but she's like the traditional Southern woman. And my dad is like a Southern man, ex-military. Like, he's a manly man. So my dad, growing up, I was a tomboy, and he would be like, I don't want you to be like your mama because she's just so emotional and she's just so this and she's just so that. So I would be like, okay, so I'm going to be like my dad. And then that's where the toughness comes from. And I used to think that would be like something that my mom was weak for. And then as I grew up and became a woman, I learned that my mom was the strongest one in the entire equation. And the fact that she could still be vulnerable and still do all of the amazing things that she does, like, that's what really makes you strong. So the outspoken part comes from my dad, but then that womanly, it's just, it's innate. It's something that my mom, just being around her and my grandma, you can't help but absorb it.
Well, and speaking of relationship, you spoke openly about you and Caesar and all of that stuff. I watched everything. Why did you decide to leave the show?
The show wasn't in line and in tune with the person that is conducive to the woman that I am supposed to be. And I had to learn that the hard way. I was around people. First off, I'm from North Carolina. I'm the only person that's not from New York that was on the show. So that already makes me an outlier. Then I'm a black woman who's in a male-dominated industry, being a tattoo artist. Then I'm an HBCU graduate.
Come on,
Aggie pride.
Come on, Aggies.
So I'm the only college graduate in the bunch.
Wow.
I'm the only I'm the only one in the bunch that comes from a two-parent home. All of these dynamics, all of these things don't match the environment that I was a part of.
Yeah, I get it.
How has rebranding been since you've been off the show? How has that been for you? Has that been a challenge? I mean, what are you doing? What are some of the steps you're taking to rebrand yourself?
When I first walked away from the show, I wanted to kill myself.
Oh, my God.
I went through serious depression.
Wow.
I went through getting harassment from cast members, death threats from them, people that they would send to do disrespectful things. They would call my shop, and my mom runs my tattoo shop, tell my mother like the most heinous things that they were going to do to me if I ever came back to New York, and all of these things. It got to a point where I didn't think that I would ever escape it.
What?
And this is
horrible.
2.5 years ago, mind you. Then the new season of the show airs.
Yes.
And I'm the topic of discussion.
Yes.
You're not even there.
Every episode, and I'm not even there. So it's like once I went through the depression at home by myself. Now y'all want me to go through public humiliation because you don't have a storyline?
Oh my goodness.
Like, it's been
reality TV
the
is even dangerous,
hardest,
child.
when I don't even watch TV, definitely not reality TV, but one of my homegirls hit me up and she was like, you gotta watch the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. And I watched it and it tore me up inside to see the Candy and Portia situation. Because people don't understand how hard it is to build your brand and for someone to tear it down with lies.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the hardest thing that you can ever do. And I felt every ounce of passion that Candy sat in that chair. Like, Portia has no understanding of what that feels like, what that means for people to believe something about you that's not even who you are.
Right, right.
And
Well,
now
she
you have the
understands, too.
world doing it, but you don't understand it from being in that position.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a different level of understanding. When you laying in your bed, when you got people calling you, harassing you, brands don't want to work with you anymore because they believe the foolishness. Like, it's a lot of things that go into that.
Yeah.
So when people meet me, like today, the makeup artist who is amazing, who did my face, she was like, I said, what was your perception of me? Like, what did you expect me to be like? And she was like, nothing like you are.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if anybody knows me, that is the story that I get everywhere I go. That's not fair to me.
I saw the
Two
sweetness.
things really quickly. I want to talk a little bit about your upcoming HBCU tour, and then I want to give you the opportunity to tell the world exactly who you are.
Yeah. And I appreciate that, Queen. I really do.
Yeah.
My HBCU tour is necessary. Trinidad James, y'all know who that is.
Of course.
He's been on the show. Yeah.
Trinidad James, let me tell y'all, he is beyond words. I hate that people attach him to the song. Like,
He's extremely smart.
So
He's very
beyond
smart,
that,
yes.
he is a superpower. And he did this song that he released in February called Black Excellence. As soon as we met, we just connected on like a mental, intellectual, like something that you don't see young people do anymore. And we just gravitated, and I fell in love with the song, and I was like, yo, all the HBCUs need to be turning up to this.
Yeah.
Because this is what separates us from the world that people think that black people fit in.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, that's so dope. You're right. So we just came up with this idea of doing the Black Excellence HBCU tour.
Love it.
I love it.
And
Where's it kicking off?
We're going to kick it off at my school, North Carolina A&T.
I like Aggies. Y'all
So
cool.
we're going to kick it off at A&T, but we want to be able to touch every HBCU in this country. And we really want to touch the young kids that are in like high school, sophomores and juniors that don't know what they want to do, because this is when you can actually get right back into what you want.
Right. Make sure you visit TSU and FAMU, and now tell us
Yes.
who Dutchess is.
Exactly.
Who is Dutchess?
Dutchess is a woman that cannot be put in a box. I'm an artist. I come from an amazing mother. People don't understand how important parenting is. When you have parents, it puts you in a different world. And shout out to all the people that are being parents, because people don't understand how hard that is and how real. That's the hardest job. I don't care if you're a doctor. I don't care if you're a heart surgeon. Being a parent is tougher than that, because you are instilling something that is life to these people. And that's what I am. I'm a vessel, and I'm allowing God to use me. And I used to be mad at how they portrayed me on the show, and I used to be upset about it. And I realized that nobody on that show is strong as me that could go through all of that.
Right.
Nobody has the courage to be right, wrong, and different than I was. And if for not any other reason, that's enough. Every day I get women that come up to me and they're like, you don't know how much you motivated me to leave, to follow my heart, to do what I want to do. And I didn't do anything but live my life. And I inspired them by just living my life.
Yes.
Like, if for no other reason, VH1 allowed those producers to make me look like whatever they choose to, I know who I am.
Yes.
And people who meet me, they know who I am. And the light that God has given me, it radiates beyond all the darkness that they can surround me with.
We see the light.
we do.
We see the light.
And that's my power.
Yes.
So I'm just a vessel. And to all the women out there that have been disrespected, berated, hurt, belittled, don't let it break you. Because it will, if you let it. You have to let it build you. And you have to have amazing women like this to look up to.
Can I get a tissue, please?
Not the women that you see in reality TV that think it's okay to disrespect each other, to allow men to disrespect them. These are the type of things that you have to surround yourself with. And I'm so glad that I'm at the place in my life now that I have those things.
Beautiful.
Because there's people that are far past me that will never have this. No matter where they go in their life. And even if they see it around them,
They won't be able to
they can't
recognize
even receive it.
Or recognize, afraid to receive it.
So that's my power. And it makes me one of the most amazing people that I know.
Yes.
And that
Loving,
allows me
kind
to know
vessel.
even greater people. So
Well,
that's what Dutchess is.
well, big
and
Mama,
she's a crybaby.
well, Big Mama D said we're gonna come back with you in just a second and wrap things up. Welcome back to Sister Circle Live. And the great thing about live television is sometimes you have to call an audible. And because Dutchess had such a moving, just moving soliloquy, monologue, a thing to say about your life, we are going to forego yoga until tomorrow. So we'll have that for you tomorrow. Let's talk a little bit more about your shop that your mother runs, Pretty in Ink. Tell us all about it.
Pretty in Ink it's exactly what it says. Pretty in Ink. Like, it's different than any other tattoo shop.
Where's it located?
We're in downtown Charlotte, North
Downtown
Carolina.
Charlotte. Love
And Charlotte is such a beautiful place. It's starting to really grow. And it's just a really good place for me to be right now, to be back at home, to be surrounded by love and people that I grew up with that really know me.
Yeah.
Now, Dutchess, to venture out into your own business, I mean, now, you're not employed. This is actually all on you. Were you afraid?
That was the biggest fear of my life.
Yeah.
I had a business plan for Pretty in Ink in college.
Oh, wow.
2009, I had the business plan complete. And I'm just now actually, like, seeing it come to fruition. So
Yeah.
it's very hard, but you have to be your biggest cheerleader. And that was my biggest problem. I was my toughest critic instead of my biggest cheerleader. And as women, that's what we do all the time. We can cheerlead anybody else on, but we don't cheerlead ourselves. We just
That is
critique ourselves, and we don't even bother critiquing the people that's around that we cheerlead. So sometimes we got to reverse those roles and really, like, just push yourself to do it.
Yes. Well, we thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Dutchess did her thing.
She sure
And
did.
she changed lives while she did.
I'm
it.
sure she did.
Yes.
I'm sure we're going to be getting a lot of tweets about that. Up next, we want to hear from you and what the people say. Stay tuned.
All right. Thank you, Dutchess.
Thank you.